Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your NXT review for the week. Outcasted OC is in the house, and today is a day of celebration. But before we get into that celebration, I'm going to have to ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoy, and comment hashtag Tony D'Angelo is free, baby. Let's go. Also, we have a massive championship change. We will be talking about that later on in the video. Once again, guys, if you like the video, like the video. But first, we're going to start off with the champion of NXT. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are already coming out to the ring at the start of NXT. They are basically talking about what happened last week with the Judgment Day. Trick Williams is trying to hype the crowd up, trying to hype Carmelo Hayes up, and Carmelo Hayes is just not feeling it. He's just like, Trick, I wish I could go back and forth either with it, you know, I'm him, I'm this, I'm that. But last week it was a miss, and we did miss to the Judgment Day. And Trick Williams was just like, no, we can't do that. It wasn't our fault. It was Ilya Dragunov that got in the way, baby. So Carmelo Hayes does, to be fair, turn around and go, well, yeah, it was Carmelo Hayes. It was Ilya Dragunov that was getting involved in our business. Dragunov does come out to the ring and says he is sorry for getting involved in the business of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams last week. He was trying to help. Damian Priest did have the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he doesn't know what would happen if he did hit him with the briefcase. I mean, I know what would have happened. He would have got disqualified, probably. Oh, the Carmelo Hayes would have lost anyway, but, you know, anyway, weird promo. Carmelo Hayes says, well, you did get involved in my business. He doesn't understand how Ilya Dragunov keeps up with all this intensity all the time. How is he always like that? And Dragunov is like, no, you don't understand. That's why you don't understand how I'm going to defeat you. You don't understand how intense I am. I am strong. I am this. I am that, blah, blah, blah. You know, an Ilya Dragunov promo, basically, guys. Always great. Always high intensity. He always hits a promo differently, in my opinion. Ilya Dragunov, it always sounds different coming out of him. I really like it. Carmelo Hayes basically calls out Ilya Dragunov basically calls out Carmelo Hayes, saying he is not prepared. He does not understand. He doesn't understand the weight of the championship. He does not realize how much danger he is in come the Great American Bash. He also says Carmelo Hayes has lost control. Carmelo Hayes turns around and goes, you don't think I know the weight of this championship? You don't think I hear my peers in the back, like, you know, staring me down, like talking trash about me? I understand the weight of this championship. I understand that you had a war last week with Bron Breakker. I know what it takes to defeat Bron Breakker, so I know you're ready, and I know that there is no one else more qualified to face me for the NXT championship. Ilya Dragunov then turns around and says, I hope you do hit different, Carmelo Hayes, because you're going to have to, because if you don't, you will be losing your NXT championship at the Great American Bash. This was a really good opening to NXT for me. It really establishes that you've got two people at the top of the game, in my opinion, coming at each other. You got Carmelo Hayes, probably the guy who should be going up to the main roster at this point because he is so prepared, but at the same time doing so much great work in NXT because he is holding this championship. And then also you've got Ilya Dragunov, a guy who's been absolutely killing in NXT UK for the past couple of years, a guy who now in the past year has come up to actual NXT and has had great matches, especially the one last week with Bron Breakker. That was probably one of my favorite Ilya Dragunov matches that I have seen. I can't really call this unless you are bringing Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams up to the main roster after the Great American Bash after SummerSlam. I honestly can't see a true victor in this match. Don't get me wrong, I hope they bring Carmelo Hayes up to the main roster. I think he's more than ready, but you never know. They may want to keep the belt on him for a little bit more. But I do think Ilya Dragunov is more than ready to hold the NXT championship. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. Do you guys think that there's going to be like a like a definitive winner, or like do you think there's going to be a rematch between these guys at another pay-per-view in the future? Are we going to have a definitive decision at the SummerSlam weekend? We now go backstage to Ali saying to Wesley that he can't believe he accepted the challenge from Dirty Dominic Mysterio tonight for the North American Championship when the ink for their contract for the North American Championship at the Great American Bash wasn't even dry. Ali says he wants to face the greatest North American champion of all time. And Wesley goes, wait, hang on a minute. You don't think I can beat Dominic Mysterio? Is that what you're saying? And Ali's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, maybe you should have held off on the match, until, we had our match. And I don't really know. When it comes to the Ali match, I'm excited to see it. The Wesley and Ali match. After tonight, I think there's going to be an extra layer of interest in that match. But as far as the match was originally, Wesley versus Ali, yes, it would be a good match. But I wasn't really invested in the storyline. I'm still kind of confused to see why Ali is on NXT. I understand that he's a free agent. I just don't really see the motivation for him going back to NXT. Apart from that, he maybe is admitting that he just isn't good for the main roster at the moment, or isn't good enough for the main roster. I mean, that could be the reason. that's why I think anyway. But do you know what? This match, the chemistry, could have been great between Ali and Wesley. I'm not gonna hate on it too much. I ain't no hater. I ain't no hater. What else can I say about it? Let's move on. Let's move swiftly on because I'm getting incredibly distracted, like digging myself a hole. We now go to I suppose like a cutscene in a video game or like in a movie where Tony D'Angelo is receiving his stuff back. He's collecting his stuff because he is about to be released from jail. He puts his suit on. He walks outside and Channing Stacks Lorenzo is out there ready for him to take him home because he is free, baby, after last week's victory. Stacks beat Joe Coffey last week, which means the charges were dropped against Tony D'Angelo and he's out of prison because that's how prison works, baby. You win a match and yeah. And we now get a tag team match, and in my mind, this was the match of the night. We get Los Lotharios, that is Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza versus Nathan Frazer. Was it Nathan Frazer? Yeah, Nathan Frazer and what was his tag team name? Oh my god, and Dragon Lee. His name completely went out of my mind there, guys, which is a bit of a shame, seeing as I've just said it was match of the night. Anyway, yeah, this tag team match is absolutely incredible. You get high flying action from all the people in this match, obviously. There's a really cool spot in this match where Los Lotharios go for a double moonsault. There is a moonsault from the top rope to the outside, taking out Dragon Lee, and then there is a moonsault inside the ring, taking out Nathan Frazer. But the match continues because Frazer kicks out. There's a really cool spot once again where Nathan Frazer gets on a bit of a momentum shift here, where he is absolutely taking out Los Lotharios. He throws Humberto Carrillo to the outside, just absolutely crossbodying both of them at this point. He then throws Angel Garza back in the ring, and then Dragon Lee hits this really cool maneuver where it looks like kind of a sliced bread, but like a round the world sliced bread. He hits Angel Garza with this move 1, 2, 3, and Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazer come out with the victory in this match. There is an interesting bit after this match though, where obviously that Nathan Frazer and Dragon Lee are celebrating on the ramp, and then you go back to the ring and Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo are kind of having a bit of a confrontation. Humberto Carrillo pushes Angel Garza down and says, "This is your fault that we lost this match," basically. I think this was interesting because I thought Los Lotharios were coming back to be a tag team. Is this a sign of a breakup in the near future? I mean, I hope not, because I really like this tag team, and I think they could do a lot on NXT. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. I hope that this is not a thing, because I do think NXT needs more tag teams. The division is already strong as it is. Like I say, this was match of the night for me, so obviously these two can go in the ring as a tag team. Both of them are very talented in the singles division, but for me, They work very well as a tag team as Los Lotharios. So I hope this is not a breakup. And we then go to a vignette from Baron Corbin, where he's talking about how he's a little bit lost, kind of like the promo from last week, where he still doesn't really know who he's supposed to be. All he does know is he needs to continue his career as someone who is not playing a character, as he needs to be himself. So everything from the past couple of years, he takes and burns. I think we're talking about Constable Corbin, King Corbin, Homeless Corbin, Happy Corbin, all them thought sort of things. Me personally, I hope he comes back as a lone wolf. I mean, I think the lone wolf would be the most interesting thing, but like, what do you guys think of that in the comments? I think Baron Corbin could be a very important part of NXT and even the main roster if he does come back as the lone wolf. I've said this on multiple occasions. I think he was the most interesting as the lone wolf, and back in 2016 when he came up to the when the draft came and he went to SmackDown and he was the lone wolf, having these matches with AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose, etc. And then when he won Money in the Bank, I really thought he could have been a world champion, but that's just my opinion. But Baron Corbin going back to his roots, I am all down for. I am totally down for that. And we now go backstage to a moment where NXT Anonymous is filming Booker T and Roxanne Perez having a conversation. Booker T is basically hyping up Roxanne Perez, saying, "Don't give Blair Davenport an inch because she will take an absolute mile." I really want to know who NXT Anonymous is, because this is dragging on now. This has been going on for a long, long time. I love the reaction of Booker T on commentary, where he was like, "Where the hell's all the security? What's going on in this place? Why was it getting filmed? That wasn't a promo. That was a private conversation." And Vic Joseph is just trying to calm down. He's just trying to calm down him, and he really can't concentrate in the following match because he's still thinking about that Booker T. Not that Booker T can concentrate anyway, because his commentary on NXT is just, I don't know what it is. It's like someone just feeds him a load of like standard lines and then he says those and he goes, "Oh yes," and then he says "shucky ducky quack quack," hits all the quotas, and then the next match he does essentially the same thing. There was a bit in this match where there was a bit in the show where they were talking about next week. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and then Vic Joseph is like, "Oh, Booker T, are you excited for next week?" And Booker T just says nothing. He literally says nothing, and then Vic Joseph says, "Well, I get it. You're containing your excitement." And I'm just like, "Booker, speak! God damn it! What are you doing?" I thought this was really weird. Anyway, we go on to our next match now. We get Gigi Dolan versus Kiana James. These two have been having a little bit of a rivalry for the past couple of weeks. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Kiana James pour paint all over Gigi Dolan. Last week, we saw Gigi Dolan saying, "Me and you are not that much different from each other. You need to embrace yourself." I embraced myself, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. She then showed pictures of Kiana James, spray painting, and when she was younger at house parties, which really upset Kiana James because last week after that, we saw her deleting old pictures on Instagram and Facebook saying, "That's not me anymore," blah, blah, blah. We now get the match this week, and it isn't really much to write home about, guys. Towards the end of the match, Kiana James goes to grab the bag. People are I'm assuming that there is paint in that bag, so she's about to do the same thing to Gigi Dolan. Gigi Dolan then tries to grab the bag off of get into a bit of a tug of war. Gigi Dolan wins that tug of war. The referee takes the bag off of Gigi Dolan. While Gigi Dolan is arguing with the referee, Kiana James hits the 401k right onto the bag. 1, 2, 3. Kiana James is victorious. I don't think this is going to be the end of that rivalry, but it probably should be. Because just Gigi Dolan, please go back to Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan. I don't know what's going on with this character. I'm not invested whatsoever, and I think Kiana James could be doing better things. Me personally, that's what I think. We now go backstage to Scripps and Axion are having a confrontation with Lucian Price and I forget his goddamn name every single time. Dima Summit. We'll see his name in a moment. Yeah, anyway, that new tag team? I can't wait for it, to be fair. I can't wait for that match later on tonight. So basically what happened in this segment is Reggie or Scripps says, you know, if you're looking for a match, you know, your debut match, and look no further, because me and my tag team partner, you know, we're going to take you on and we're going to fight you because we did great. After they walk away, Axiom turns to Scripps and goes, you need to stop saying we're a tag team, because we're not. I've got a lot of things that I want to accomplish in NXT as a single superstar. So you need to stop saying this. Next, we get a really sad moment where Ivy Nile is climbing a ladder and taking down all the banners and everything from the Diamond Mine dojo. It was really sad, like, you know, because, like, obviously the Diamond Mine, like, you know, the Creed brothers are out of NXT, and now it's just her, so she's taking down all of the stuff from the dojo. It was just like a little bit of a sad thing that happened backstage, which I thought was, I was like, oh, poor Ivy Nile. Another segment here where we see Eddie Thorpe being informed by the Metaphor that Supernova Sessions is once again getting cancelled because you know, Noam Dar is just not in the frame of mind to host an interview. Aura Mensa then hands him a signed picture of Noam Dar, which Eddie Thorpe, you know, like rips up, and everyone was like, oh, how disrespectful of you. We then get a match set up between Aura Mensa and Eddie Thorpe later on in the night, which, once again, I didn't think anything was going to come of that match, but, like, you know, there's some interesting stuff actually happened in that match, so we'll get to that in a moment. I have just seen his name on my notes. His name is Bronco Dima. There we go. Bronco Dima and Lucian Price are next versus Axiom and Scripps. This was surprising for me. So it was a very short match. First of all, for a debut match, a tag team, you got Bronco and Lucian winning this match. But the reason why they won this match is because Scripps turns on Axiom. I thought they were going to become a tag team and, you know, win a title maybe or something, but no. Reggie or Scripps attacks Axiom to give Dima and Price the 1-2-3 victory. They win their first match in NXT. So I'm really looking forward to these two, as in Dima and Price, having an actual match, having an actual feud with someone, because I've really loved the vignettes and the promos that these two have been given, heading up to being a part of NXT. And I tell you what, from the little that I've seen of them, they look very good. They look very good. Like, I can't really say more than that. I need to see more of them in the ring to get, you know, to give them a better description. But they look different. They sound different. I can already see him being like a main threat on the main roster. I know that's looking a little bit too far into the future, but that's just me. Sometimes I can just see talent and just see him on Raw or SmackDown. Speaking of talent that should be on Raw or SmackDown, baby, it's time for the celebration, because Tony D'Angelo is back from jail, and it is the Tony D'Angelo homecoming party. All of his family's there. You know, you got Stacks there introducing him, saying, you know, it's probably been one of the worst 2 months for the D'Angelo family, but now he's back, baby. Let's go. And, like, no rats from Gallus are going to stop this. Here comes Tony D'Angelo, comes out celebrating. He hugs Stacks. Gallus then come out and say, oh, you scumbags, basically. They call them scum. And say, you two are the lowest of the low. Basically, then Tony D'Angelo then gets on the microphone and says, you guys need to go home. And Joe Coffey, you look like a guy who had control and then lost it, baby. And you know what? You better go home and clean and, you know, shine up those championships, because at the Great American Bash, we're coming for those titles. Scott Gallus then turned around and go, Tony, do you know what? You wish you was out all that time, out of prison. Well, I tell you what, you're going to be wishing you were back in that cell, because being in jail was safer for you. Then they go Gallus then go to get in the ring. Obviously, it's 3-on-2. I mean, it's not really a 3-on-2. There's, like, you know, 10 other people in the D'Angelo family, but they're not going to fight for some reason. I don't know. But Tony D and Stacks have weapons stashed. So Gallus think better of it. One of the Gallus boys, I can't remember which one, gets put through the buffet table. All the meatball subs all over the floor, as Booker T says. I can't wait for this match. SummerSlam weekend, Great American Bash, NXT Tag Team titles, Gallus versus the D'Angelo family. I really want the D'Angelo family to win this. D'Angelo is free, baby, and I could not be happier about it, should I say. We then go backstage now to Trick and Mello. They're walking through backstage and then confronted by the Schism. Basically, Carmelo Hayes calls them a bunch of weirdos. The Schism then turn around and go, don't bring this negative energy to the Schism, to our family. We're positive. We can feel the negative vibes coming from you a mile away. Dragunov then shows up once again. I don't know whether to back up or get involved or whatever. Anyway, it turns into a massive brawl. Later on in the night, we find out that this is a 6-man tag team match for next week. So you've got Trick Mello and Ilya Dragunov versus the Schism next week on NXT. I thought this was just a bit of a pointless segment, to be honest with you. I thought this was a little bit stupid, but oh well. We now get a match between Thea Hale and Elektra Lopez. Not much to say about this match, except once again, Thea Hale using the Kimura to tap out someone else on the roster. She is really getting a hold of that Kimura lock, and she's doing quite well with it. She then gets on the microphone with Duke Hudson, and Duke Hudson says, "Can we get a Hale?" Yeah. Basically says, I've seen you tap out Tiffany Stratton more than once on this occasion, so I think that warrants a rematch. Thea Hale says she is on one of the runs of her life. She is tapping out everyone with this Kimura lock, and once she gets hands on Tiffany Stratton again, she's going to tap out that, and she's about to say the B word, but then Duke Hudson cuts her off. Tiffany Stratton then comes out and says, "You think you can just, call out the champion?" And I'm just sat there thinking, I mean, yeah, she just did. So obviously she can. Tiffany Stratton says she accepts the rematch because you know what? She's beaten her before. She'll beat Thea Hale again. Thea Hale then goes, okay, do you know what? At the Great American Bash, you know what I want? I want a submission match. Tiffany Stratton goes, hell no. Once again, who do you think you are? You're not the champion. You can't make all the rules. Ta-ta. She goes to walk out the ring. Thea Hale turns around, gets her in a Kimura lock. While she's in the Kimura lock, Tiffany Stratton goes, okay. I will accept the submission match. This is really cool, guys. We get a submission match at the Great American Bash for the NXT Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of getting on board with Thea Hale. I kind of want her to win this match. I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind it. Tiffany Stratton is a great champion, don't get me wrong. And I definitely think she deserved the championship when she won. And I would like her to have a longer run. But Thea Hale's on a roll at the minute. Chase U is on a roll at the minute. I love Chase University. Screw it. Give Thea Hale the NXT Women's Championship. Because then that would make more sense for me. Because here's what I think is going to happen at the Great American Bash. If Thea Hale wins the NXT Women's Championship, then I think Blair Davenport is beating Roxanne Perez. It makes more sense for Thea Hale to face Blair Davenport than it does for Tiffany Stratton to face Blair Davenport. And that's just my opinion. Because obviously then you've got a heel versus a face. I don't think it would work if it was Tiffany Stratton versus Blair Davenport. But hey-ho, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see that match. But you got Thea Hale right there. Mega face. Let's get the title on her, possibly. That's just my opinion. We then go to backstage, and this is a bit that I absolutely love. Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley are stood there just talking. Tony D'Angelo walks past Dominic, Dirty Dom, and says, Benny says hello. And Dominic's like, oh, yeah, he was a good guy, which is implying that Dominic Mysterio and Tony D went to the same prison. Even though I believe they were arrested in 2 different states. So I don't know how they ended up in the same prison. But apparently Benny says hello to Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, the hardened criminal Dominic Mysterio, locked up. Booker T says, by the way, during his match that he learned his sources that in the short amount of time that he was in prison, he became the fastest rising shot caller in all of prison history. Now, that is quite a statement from Booker T, and I don't know where he got that information, but I believe it because Dirty Dom is Dirty Dom. He's a badass, and who would not want to take orders from Dominic Mysterio, baby? Dirty Dom. While this is going on, Lyra Valkyria is walking past Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley stops her and goes, listen, I called you a badass a couple of weeks ago, and you're just going to let JC Jane take advantage of you like that? Was I wrong, Lyra? Are you not a badass? Lyra turns around and says, listen, the next time me and JC Jane are in the same ring, I'm going to show her what is what, basically. I'm liking this whole Rhea Ripley being on NXT, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a little bit of a different story in terms of the Judgment Day occupying 2 different rosters. Obviously, they're killing it on Raw lately, and now they're occupying NXT, like with Rhea Ripley showing up sometimes, and you got Dominic Mysterio there, like, you know, for the past couple of weeks. I think it's really cool. We get a match now, but before we do, we get apparently Gable Stevenson is here next week to discuss his future with NXT. We saw last week that he was saying that he's got so much stuff coming up, including the Olympics, but he loves NXT, so he really doesn't know the decision that he's going to make. This is going to be interesting, because obviously he's a massive get for WWE. But in all seriousness, the guy, he's barely been on TV, and he is obviously an Olympic gold medalist. He's probably going to want to go back to the Olympics. But let me know, are you guys interested in Gable being back on NXT or just in WWE in general? For me, Damon Kemp has more potential right now, in my opinion, but, you know, that's just me. We now get a match between Aura Mensah and Eddie Thorpe, the match that we was promised last week. Earlier tonight. There's a really funny part where like Noam Dar is pretty much just catatonic, and Jakara Jackson just throws him like his limp body in the ring, and he's face down, and the referee doesn't really know what to do. So he starts rolling him out of the ring. While this is going on the other side of the ring, Dijak comes out and like just absolutely blasts Eddie Thorpe. Gets Aura Mensah, then gets Eddie Thorpe back into the ring. Hits a cool ass kick, and then 1, 2, 3, Aura Mensah wins, and the Metaphor have a victory. Is this the Metaphor's first victory? Oh no, sorry, no, there wasn't. The two women, Jakara Jackson and whatever her name is. What is her name? Anyway, who cares? Lash Legend, that's it. I believe they won a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, like Eddie Thorpe versus Dijak, guys. I thought there was gonna be like a bit of a throwaway match, but I laughed a lot at the Noam Dar segment, and I laughed a lot when Dijak just absolutely took Eddie Thorpe's head off, because number one, I thought it was funny, and number two, I am really looking forward to this feud. Once again, I am a massive Dijak fan. If Dijak gets a push like I hope he's going to in the future, then I am absolutely down for that. We now go backstage. Oh, do we even need to talk about this? So Kalani James and Dana Brooke are doing flippily flops, basically to make themselves feel better, because they're both gymnasts. Who cares? Let's move on from this. I don't give a shit about this. I don't know you guys. Blair Davenport, another thing that I don't really care about. Blair Davenport says that this is a grown women's division now, and Roxanne Perez, once she beats her, just should stay at home, because everyone knows that she doesn't have the killer instinct that Blair Davenport does. Everyone is doubting Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne is getting mad. This is rubbish, guys. This is absolutely... Can we just get this feud out of the way? I'm not going to lie to you. I've really gone off Roxanne Perez. I already thought she was green anyway. I did not think she deserved the women's championship. Obviously, the thing with Mandy Rose affected that decision. But I'm just not down for it. I think Blair Davenport needs to get Roxanne Perez out of the way and then go on to maybe the NXT Women's Championship, because like Roxanne Perez just needs to do something else. I do not care about this feud. I don't care about if Roxanne Perez is upset or not. I'm just not down for it. Here's something that I'm down for though. NXT North American Championship match, guys. In the main event, we have Wesley the champion versus Dirty Dom of the Judgment Day. Now, this is a pretty decent match going on. You got Wesley getting a lot of offense in. You got Dirty Dom showing off his skills. Towards the end of this match, Wesley is looking to end it. Wesley is looking to finish off Dominic Mysterio with a cardiac kick. Finn Balor gets on the apron. While this is going on, the referee tries to get Finn Balor off the apron. Damian Priest jumps in the ring. Wesley hits Damian Priest with a cardiac kick. He then goes to the corner and then is attacked by Rhea Ripley, who absolutely just lays him out. Dominic Mysterio gets the cover. 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio is your new North American champion. The Judgment Day are holding gold in NXT and on the main roster with Rhea Ripley. You have got Damian Priest as Mr. Money in the Bank, and you've got Finn Balor once again going for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. The Judgment Day are having one of the best runs in WWE right now. Guys, they are absolutely dominant. They have been beating people left and right. Damian Priest winning the Money in the Bank, and now Dominic Mysterio is holding gold. I did not see this coming. I said last week that I thought this was just going to be a bit of a throwaway match for Wes Lee, and he was going to go on to face Ali at the Great American Bash. Now, with Dirty Dom holding the championship, it throws a spanner into the works, because I think you're going to have a triple threat match at Great American Bash now. Dom versus Wes Lee versus Mustafa Ali. Great match that's going to be. Dominic Mysterio, a lot of people are saying he should have gone to NXT first because he's still a little bit green in the ring. Granted, I agree with that, but I think the Judgment Day having a presence on NXT is a massive plus for that brand, especially if other members of the Judgment Day are showing up. And you know what? Even if he holds it only until the Great American Bash, that's absolutely fine for me, because you know what? While that's going on Monday Night Raw, he's going to be holding that North American Championship all the way up to the Great American Bash. So that's going to be great eyes on NXT on SummerSlam weekend. It's looking to be a great card for SummerSlam weekend. Just the Great American Bash and then SummerSlam. It's looking to be a great weekend. Guys, what do you think of Dominic Mysterio holding a championship in NXT, the new North American Championship, out of absolutely nowhere? Let me know what you think of that in the comments. If you like this NXT review, guys, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Go follow Outcasted OC on the TikTok, on the Instagram, on our Twitter, and we are setting up a Facebook page also, all with the same name, Outcasted OC. Go follow the rest of the gang. Lauren, Courtney, G, aka Just G, aka Unicorn Goth, aka one of the best women on TikTok, alongside Courtney and Lauren. And I would be remiss if I wasn't, mentioning Ross, baby. We are doing a pop culture episode, and Ross is in charge of that tomorrow in that podcast. I cannot wait. Go follow me at Rudy Poo Candy Ass on TikTok. You can follow me. My links will be in the descriptions. Also, once again, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure covering NXT for you. I am here every single week covering NXT for you guys. Like I said before, we've got a podcast tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned for that. We have got a SmackDown review coming on Saturday morning, being covered either by G or Ross. We recently uploaded an NJPW G1 Part 1 review, and Part 2 should be coming for you guys later on this week. That is hosted by Ross. Lauren hosted the first ever Impact review, guys. That is getting a lot of attention. If you haven't seen it yet, go give that some love. And hopefully on Sunday, we're going to have something really cool for you guys coming up once again as well. So there is a lot of stuff on the channel that you guys can check out. There's a lot of new stuff. There's a lot of new content coming your way, and I hope you stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, I hope you have an absolutely amazing Wednesday, and I hope the rest of your week goes really well. Peace out, guys.